concept with one woman's idea of matching a family that wanted to help somebody with a family who needed help. And it started out sending boxes to families in Mississippi. It originally started out as the Mississippi Box Project. Later it expanded to other areas in America, and they dropped the name of Mississippi, and it just became the Box Project. And these boxes that these families would send, they were basically basic need items, but also included in the boxes was friendship, encouragement, and the sponsors would sometimes encourage the family members to complete their education, whether it be high school, and we have many stories, if you've had a chance to look, of many of our recipients that not only finished high school, but have gone on to finish college and graduate school. In about 2009, the Box Project realized most of the people being helped were here in the Mississippi Delta. So they contacted the Community Foundation, and we took it over as a program of the Community Foundation. And when we took it over, Mrs. Virginia Nave, that woman with that one simple concept of matching families, donated her artifacts that she had collected through the years of working with the Box Project. And we're fortunate that Delta State took those items, and now we have an exhibit upstairs and a place that people can come and research history of the Box Project and how it has helped alleviate poverty in the Delta. We've collected lots of stories since then that just, as I was saying earlier, has told us of many families that have gone on and graduated from college. And we've got a couple of guests here today that are one of those families that we would love to introduce and let them share their reflections about their experience with their sponsor and the Box Project. We have Mr. Timothy and Miss Simone, and I'll let them tell about themselves.
Hello, my name is Timothy Holston. I've been a recipient of the Box Project for as long as I can remember. Growing up as a little boy in the Mississippi Delta, I'm originally from Itabena, Mississippi. Some of y'all may have never heard of a place called Quito. Some of y'all may have. So Itabena is a very rural place. Quito, if that's the case, Quito will be like a suburb of Itabena. So you can imagine how small Quito is. But I can remember from growing up as a little boy, always receiving these boxes around every holiday. And every holiday we received a box for Christmas, Thanksgiving, even Halloween. We received these boxes from this lady I've never met. This lady had no type of relationship to my family, but we received a lot of different things that helped us do the things that we need to do as far as to do the bare necessity as far as eating. She often sent dry goods so that we can cook whenever we need it. I can remember stories. I remember as a little boy, maybe as a teenager, I received books. And two of the books, I can remember two of the books because they were very, very good stories. One was Words by Heart by Uda Sebastian, and the other was Waiting for the Rain by Sheila Gordon. And if you can read those books, they'll be two very good books to read. And it talked about African Americans, and well, one was about African family one was black, and the African family, one was white, and how their relationship developed as a little boy. But then once the apartheid happened, they had to split, and there was on two opposite sides of the war. But in the war, the two boys meet back up, and they become back friends. All right, so those are very, very compelling stories, and those were things that I cherish because at that point, I don't know if I was reading, but those were my very first two books I can remember ever owning. And so I developed a passion for reading. So since my family has been a recipient of the Box Project, I went on to college. I went to Mississippi Valley. I got 2 degrees, one in mathematics from there and also one in computer science from there. When I left Mississippi Valley, I went to the University of Mississippi. I got a master's in computer science, and I'm still at the University of Mississippi working on my PhD in computer science. I'm through with the classes. I'm working on my dissertation. So hopefully I'll be finished with that pretty soon. I've been working on it for a while. Working in schools didn't really mix, but since I started, I got to finish that type of way. But it's been a very, very wonderful experience. The sponsor, if I can talk about her family, how much time do I have? I'm a talker. So I teach classes, so I go overtime a lot. So I'm a big talker. But the family that we were assigned to us rather, was the Cook family from Concord, Maine. Miss Cook, who probably wrote most of the letters that her and my mom intertwined. After I graduated college, after I got in college, we actually started communicating through email, me and her. And I think you had the same type of interaction when you started communicating through email. But me and Miss Cook, well, my family and Miss Cook had a very, very long history. I was kind of hoping, I'm going to tell you this, I was kind of hoping that they were going to bring her here and try to surprise her a little bit, but that didn't happen yet. But we never met, but we've had so many different interactions. I just feel like I know about her kids, about her son's college, the downturns, the good turns of her mother and father. We had that type of communication that wasn't just about my family, but we should also share experiences with her family. And that was a connection that I don't think anything could ever measure.
My name is Simone Holson. I'm a recent graduate of Delta State as psychology and social work as my minor. My experience with the Box Project is a lot different from my brother, being that we grew up in different areas. Like he said, he grew up in Quito, I grew up in Edabina, just because my mom moved as we got older. And my experience with Ms. Cook and the Box Project was, once a month, the box came more often than it did when he was younger, but once a month we received a box, and growing up I didn't know where the boxes came from. I just know at Christmas time there were always a box, and then gifts would come out of the box. So I was excited about this. And she'd always address the gifts from Santa or, the Cook family, and she always made Christmas much better because even though Mom could provide some gifts, it was just much better knowing that someone across the world cared that much to send more gifts when we didn't even ask for them. So that was a good experience as far as the gifts and all that good stuff. But Ms. Cook and I formed a deeper relationship my senior year of high school because I had to write a report, and we had to address it to a pen pal. And at that point, I knew what a pen pal was, but I had never written to one. And also around that time, my mom and Ms. Cook had stopped communicating a little because, well, I asked my mom, and she said it was because she got tired and she developed arthritis in her hand and she couldn't write as much as she wanted to. But she told me if I wanted to, I could still communicate with the family, and I chose to do that. And I reached out to Ms. Cook, and ever since then, it's just been like a mother-daughter relationship. She's always given me advice about stuff that you would think people wouldn't care about, like boys and anything I asked about or anything like that. She was just that type of person. She's very kind, very nice, and very just open about life experiences. And she wasn't afraid to share, what her family was going through, and still try to encourage me to be better as a human being. And when I was choosing to go to college, Delta State was my only choice, to be honest with you. He tried to persuade me to go to Valley, but I just wasn't having it. But after I told Miss Cook about Delta State, she sent me an application to Howard University, but I never filled it out because I just didn't see the potential in myself that she saw in me. And I regret it a little because I feel like I would have maybe had the chance to finally meet her face to face if I had gone out of state and gone to school in D.C. But I mean, she's been so supportive, and I actually ordered memorabilia offline for her and son with Delta State logos on it just to support me, and that is something I just couldn't ask for. And for me, they're like an extended family. They're second mom, second dad, sisters and brothers I never met, but hey, they're all family, and they're very supportive. And that's my experience with the Box Project. Thank you.
We have another recipient that would like to share a few words. Ms. Delia.
My name is Delia Dennis, and I've been a member of the Box Project since 1983. Back then I had two sons, both were in school. Back then, I was a graduate of Mississippi Valley State University with a degree in business administration. And due to my disability, I have osteogenesis imperfecta and scoliosis. I couldn't find a job because teaching wasn't one of my careers. And I had Mrs. Mary Jesus in Massachusetts was one of my sponsors then. And after then, on in 2000, I can't remember what year, maybe 2006, 7, or 8, Sue Vendrusky became my sponsor. And ever since then, she's been sending donations and various gifts to me. And she and her husband, John, has become like family members. And when I don't hear from them, it's just like I'm missing something. Not just the gifts, but the friendship. We be in contact with each other like weekly. They come down to visit whenever they are here in Greenville. Well, not here, but in Greenville, Mississippi, where I live. They are always at my house. And we just have good times together. And the box project has helped so much because I'm on fixed income and everything is so expensive. And when she sends material things, because I make my own clothing, I can't afford to buy them ready-made, so I have to make them, and that's a real help. Everything that anybody can donate to me, it is a help, and the box project has truly been a help to me. And I'd like to thank them.
Mr. Tom?
I'm Tom Pittman with the Community Foundation. The Box Project is obviously part of what we do, and it's part of what we do, but we don't get a chance to hear stories from real people and real experiences like we have today. So thank y'all very, very much for sharing your experiences. We have read letters also from sponsoring families. Some of those, we have 800-something sponsoring families from 47 different states that have formed relationships like this with families in the Delta over the last 50 years. And you just think about how many people have been impacted. You know, just do quick math, 1,000 a year times 50, that's 50,000 families. Times 2, because there's 2 families in every relationship. That's a lot of families to impact over the last 50 years. And it's really appreciate you all making all that personal. We can do the numbers, but it's really gratifying to be part of a program like that connects people with people. That's the mission of our community foundation, connecting people who care with causes that matter. And the Box Project's about as good a way as we can do that in anything. And we really appreciate Delta State for when Ms. we took over the Box Project in 2009, and one of the things we were interested in was the history of it. And talked to Ms. Nave, founder up in Canada, where she's retired and about 90 years old now, pretty feisty still, but she was willing to put together her boxes of memorabilia and ship them to us. And we got these boxes, we didn't know what to do with it. So Emily, thank you for going through and organizing and helping us make sense of what we got, because it's such a rare find. Thank you very much for doing that. And we should thank Lillian, who was the Box Project director when we took over in 2009. And now Lillian is working in Batesville and not with us, but she's still here today. We appreciate it very much. It's been just a real honor for us. Thank y'all for coming to just share with us. We had not seen really what's in the boxes until today because we hadn't been able to sort it out. So if you want to look through there, you can see a wonderful story of a lady in 1962 who just said, I wonder what it's like to be poor in the rural South from my home in Vermont. And let me get connected with somebody there and establishing people relationships, and somebody who's had the courage, the persistence, whatever, to keep it up for 50 years. And we just feel really honored to be able to carry on that tradition. So thank you all for being here. Don, is there anything else we need to do?
We've got wonderful spread of food, so please eat up.